Hey, what's going on, y'all? Jay from JSFILMZ. In this video, I'm gonna give you my first impression on the new Sony Mocopi motion capture system. All right, so you can see right here, these are smaller than I initially thought. This is my small hands and they're really, really small. So what is the Sony Mocopi? It's pretty much a $470 with taxes motion capture system. It has 6 different sensors, 1 for your head, 2 for your wrist, 2 for your ankle, and 1 for your hip. That's pretty much it. So what I'm gonna do right now is just kind of showcase how to use this. All right, so I got a chair right here because I actually have to put the sensors down whenever I'm doing everything. You can't move it whenever you're calibrating. So I'm gonna turn my screen monitor 1, 0. It's recording now. I'm gonna go to the Mocopi app. I'm gonna turn that on. And I'm gonna turn on Bluetooth because it's gonna use Bluetooth to connect. I'm gonna say I'm in the United States of America, it's okay. I'm gonna check the first box, not the second one, and it's gonna start the pairing process. All right, so I'm gonna say next, and we're gonna turn on the head first, which is gonna be the orange. So I'll turn that on, and it's automatically gonna recognize that. I'm gonna click that, say next, and then tap next again. That's going to connect it, and I'll say pair, and we're just gonna go through every single one of them. Okay, confirm. It's gonna tell you not to move it, so I'm gonna leave it right there, and I'm gonna say connect sensors, and this is gonna do its thing. So connected, and now it's telling me to put all of the sensors on my body, which as you can see, I already have them. Now, the actual straps are not labeled themselves, but there are only 6 of them. So the 2 shorter ones are gonna be on your wrist, and then obviously the medium ones are gonna be on your ankle, and then the biggest one is gonna be on your head, which I'm gonna go ahead and show you that real quick. And then for the hip, it comes with a little clip. All right, so let's go ahead and remove the sensors. You do have names and direction on the actual sensors themselves. So this is ankle left right here. So it's gonna be your left ankle. And if you just twist it, it's gonna snap in place, which is pretty cool. We go to the right. And again, the hip, I'm gonna lock it in. You should hear a snap whenever you're putting it in there. So instead of putting this on your shorts, put it on your whitey tighties, because your shorts, if they're like sagging, you definitely don't want that. So right now I'm just gonna put it on my whitey tighty so that I know it's there for good, right? All right, so here we go. And then for the wrist, left, snap it on there, and wrist right, just like that. And now for the head, again, the biggest strap is gonna be the head. Okay, here we go. Rotate it, and then I'll just kind of put it on the back, like so. All right, so I'm gonna re-record again and press confirm. We're gonna calibrate the sensors. I'm gonna play it. This is gonna tell me how to calibrate it. It's really easy. You just gotta stand still, and then whenever you hear a beep or something, you step forward, and that's pretty much it. So we're gonna do that, okay? So it's showing me the video right now, and I'll just say next. Actually, let's go to my height, which I believe I'm 5'3". So next, start calibration. All right, so that's good to go. And right away, you're gonna see that we have now our sus avatar in here. As you can see right there, you can see that I am moving, as you can see, and it's working pretty well. I mean, honestly, first impression of this thing, I'm pretty surprised considering we have 6 sensors. I mean, this is pretty insane. The foot contact is not bad. All right, so we're gonna be doing a couple more tests in here. Obviously, I'm gonna be doing a lot more tutorials if you wanna check it out. So with that being said, you do have a record mode and a send mode. So that means you can actually record your mocap into a BVH, convert it to FBX, and then retarget, or you can send the data straight to Unreal Engine, Unity, or Motion Builder, which is pretty darn insane. So you can do both offline and online, which is pretty darn bananas right off the bat. They are ready to go. The plugins are set up for Unreal Engine 5, 5.1, 5.2. So that's Sony. They did their homework. It's all ready to go, but we'll talk about some caveats here in a little bit. So here's our Mocopi character. Looking pretty good right now. We only have 1 avatar that is kind of like included The video right now you're gonna see on the top left, this is like if you wanna record a video and then kind of like copy and paste your avatar onto like the real world footage. We don't want that, I just want the motion. That's what I'm gonna be using this for, is like mocap, either offline or online, sending it directly to Unreal. So whenever I change the motion, you're gonna see that we have this button right here, save or send. So save is, it's going to save the BVH inside my phone, and I can upload that to the drive and then download it on my computer, all that stuff. We're gonna take care of that later, or I can send it directly via wireless, via livelink, which again is pretty cool. All right, so all of that's up right now, and then in the library, obviously I don't have any motion files, but what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to just do a couple of tests, because right now I've just been seeing a lot of people do this. Hey, I got the Mocopi, this looks great. Now, we're gonna do some, basic tests, and then obviously if you wanna see more, let me know in the comments below what you're curious about as far as what this thing can do. So we're gonna do a couple of things right now, and for the sake of recording, I'm gonna stop recording on my onboard right now, but basically whenever I'm recording, I'm just gonna say send right here, and it's gonna turn into red. That means it's going to record it into a BVH. So the first thing we're gonna be testing is sitting still. That sounds like it's an easy job for motion capture, but it's actually the opposite. So that's what we're gonna do right off the bat. We're not gonna be too nice for this. We're not gonna be too nice with this thing on. So I'm just gonna sit here and then press record. All right, so starting motion recording, and now I'm recording motion. I just wanna see if this thing can take just sitting still. And what I'm gonna do, if you are a YouTube member here on the channel, I'm going to allow you to download the mocap files that we're recording right now. So you can look at it in Blender, export it, FBX, retarget it however you want. So that being said, stay tuned for that. I'm gonna put the link in the community page if you are a member on my YouTube channel. All right, so let's talk about, let's kind of walk around here a little bit. And then kind of sit down. Now, one of the things that I'm noticing is that it's not very accurate as far as your posture whenever you're sitting, right? I really can't show it in here, but maybe whenever I show y'all the actual BVH that you'll see it. But I should be kind of standing straight up, but as you can see, she's kind of slouching a little bit, which that's not very good. But then again, this is just 6 sensors for $470, okay? So kind of keep that in mind. But so the next quick test we're gonna do is we're gonna do some ground stuff. This is honestly the test that I would do if I was testing out a new mocap. We do sitting, jumping, and we're gonna sit, lay down on the floor, because again, we're testing this out. We're testing this out. I bought this myself. I don't care what Sony says. I'm gonna test this out. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and press record on my Mocopi. 3, 2, 1, and yeah, let's go ahead and get on the floor. Maybe do some push-ups. All right, same thing, we're just gonna get on our knees. Same thing. All right. Maybe do a little bit of a stretch. Now, I don't know what this looks like right now. Okay, I have no idea, but we'll see. All right, so I'm up on the floor, and then I can probably do like a zombie crawl or something, right? So I'm on my knees right now, and honestly, I don't know how this is going to do, considering I only have ankle sensors. I got no shin sensors, nor thigh sensors. So this is gonna be really interesting here. Maybe do a little bit of a break dance, like, something like that. So we're gonna go ahead and stop that. I have no idea what this is gonna look like, but that's why we're testing this out. All right, the third one we're gonna be doing is we're just gonna do some basic jumps. All right, I do have a microphone here on the left, so we'll see what happens. And by the way, I gotta check to make sure it's still on. But let's do some jumps, right? So you walking to the trailer park and you're like, bro, you got a problem with me, bro? Like, just like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a pretty good test right there. Like, all right, hey man, you got beef? That's a fighting stance right there. You know what I mean? Like, if I jump, I don't know. I don't know what that's gonna look like. I'm curious. I mean, hopefully it looks good, but that's what we're doing this for. Now, I'm gonna stop that real quick. So it's kind of like our karate fighting mode, if you will. Whenever you have a motion capture suit, some motion capture suits out there can't locate the origin where they're coming from. So what I mean by that is I'm gonna put this little fin, mermaid fin that I got my daughter, put it right here, and I'm going to reset my pose right in front of it. Okay? So I reset the pose right in front of it, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start recording right here, move around, and then come back to the same exact spot. But the test that I want to see here is, will the Sony Mocopi remember where that original spot is? Okay? So press record, 3, 2, 1, here I go, in the beginning, and I'm just gonna walk around, say I'm acting like, I can't believe it. I can't believe that you would go get ice cream without me. How dare you? Right? And you're like acting. And then whenever you have to go back, I'm gonna go back right here, but not yet. I'm gonna move around the space. Because again, we're not gonna be too nice to this thing. We're gonna test this out. So, move around, because you know, you're delivering lines and they're like arguing. I wanted Rocky Road. You got me vanilla, plain. How dare you? And then at the end, we're gonna go back to that spot. All right, so here we are. We're back right in front of the mermaid tail. So I wanna know if the Sony Mocopi is going to remember that, or am I gonna be somewhere else in the world space? We'll have to check that out. All right, so that's pretty much it for the setup and just doing a couple of tests, but I'm gonna give you my first impression. For a $460 6-sensor motion capture device, it's pretty decent. However, there are some caveats. I checked the bone skeleton system that Sony Mocopi is using, which they actually include a skeletal mesh with the bones already in it, so you can retarget it easily to a metahuman. It does not have fingers. So that's kind of rough. That is probably the major downside right now. Obviously, they might fix this later, or maybe I could be wrong. Maybe I just look at the right thing. Maybe I was just looking at the wrong thing, but I can tell you right now, the skeleton system that Mocopi has does not include any finger bones, even if it's just there so we can animate it later. Just not there. But that being said, it's pretty crazy. The simplicity of this system is insane. And this comes from Sony. And they have just been making electronics for so long that, man, this is insane. Right off the bat, they came out with plugins for Unreal Engine Unity Motion Builder. They have blueprints set up for metahumans. They have IK rigs set up for metahumans in Unreal Engine 5 Skeleton. I am talking to NVIDIA Omniverse, so I'm hoping that they can create a connector to NVIDIA Omniverse, because the SDK is available for people to develop their own plugin. The release, the launch, the simplicity, the connection, how small they are. I'm gonna be pretty much taking this out, testing it out there. It's so low key. Honestly, it looks just like fitness trackers. I can lie to people and say, yeah, I'm just, calculating my calories because I ate like 12 donuts today. Because it just looks so simple. Right? So those are pretty much the good stuff. It works right off the bat. The price is very cheap. With that being said, I know this is just my initial impression of this. If you're just gonna be making a lot of dialogue, cinematic movies, or just goofing around, and you don't necessarily need hands, and you're just doing a lot of small movements like this, acting like that. For example, the Hamlet Shakespeare that I did, you really didn't see the hand too much there. So in that case, it might potentially work for that. Although, I am gonna say this, I did look at some raw data last night. You are gonna have to clean up whenever you're using Sony Mocopi. So I'm gonna say that flat out. Don't expect this thing for mocap that you're going to download it and it's going to work right away without any cleanups. I will say that. Although I will say that as far as foot contact, and magnet interference, it's pretty darn solid, okay? But yeah, I'm sorry this video ran a little bit longer. I know a lot of people have been asking me about this. I am gonna be testing this out a little bit more. I am gonna be using this with my JSFILMZ mocap helmet because I think it's the perfect match. You have a 460 motion capture suit. I mean, because honestly, I think it's the perfect match for like people who just wanna get into motion capture. I think of this device as kind of like your point and shoot camera. It's a good starter to get you really introduced to the workflow of motion capture. All right, so this is your baby camera kit that you just got because you want to get into photography or videography. That's what I'm going to compare the Sony Mocopi to. Now, what I would like for Sony to do is create a pro version of this with maybe adding 4 more sensors for the thigh and the shin and charge a little bit more extra, you know, for 10 sensors. Additionally, I would like to see them add fingers to the skeleton. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope y'all learned something new today.